COVID-19 and 2020 have become synonymous with each other. An international pandemic that challenged the country's leadership and health professionals of the world in no way that they had been done within their living lifetime. And it was during this pandemic that things got bad. We began to see rapid closures and shutdowns, and to a point of which it was so unprecedented that every school in the United States of America was shut down. But don't worry, hope's not lost yet, because just a few months later, schools were reopened in some areas, including here in St. Johns County, Florida. So, in these schools that decided to reopen, I wanted to see what precautions were put into place to assure the stop of this deadly virus. So, I spoke to a local principal. This is Dr. Diarmus Graham, principal of St. Augustine High School, and he's going to talk to me about the precautions put in place at the school.
In high school, this is great. We're in a pandemic. It's very challenging for our students and our teachers, our faculty and staff. And so I think just having everyone involved in that communication and having clear expectations for everyone was very important. So the changes that we have a lot of PPE supplies, the masks. We provided the masks and the shields for our teachers. Dividers for each classroom has a divider. Teachers are checking temperatures during first period only. Any student who has a temperature over 100.4, we would send them down to our nurse. And if her temperature is over 100.4, we'll contact the parents, and then the parents will at that time pick up their child to go home, and then that student will go to the doctor to get checked to make sure that they're safe and everything is okay.
Well, after hearing about the face mask dividers and online schooling, I wanted to better understand these impacts by interviewing a student of the high school. And who better than a friend of mine who had COVID during the school year?
Hi, my name is Zach Hanna and I go to St. Augustine High School. I'm a junior. In terms of school now with COVID, it's okay. It's not as safe as it could be, but it's in a workable condition in my opinion. In terms of face mask usage with safety, I don't have a problem keeping my mask on. I think you know me pretty well. I'll keep it on as I need, whatever. I think in terms of how well it's being enforced, it's not being enforced well at all. And the fact of the matter is, you're just dealing with kids who just don't want to listen, and there's nothing you can really do about that. Having to do school while having the virus, it honestly, it's interesting. My parents come from a standpoint of really wanting me to do well in school, so they were really against having me stay home because they know that it does worse for me. So it was this dynamic argument almost of like, yeah, and they knew it had to be done. They knew there was nothing, but they resented it a little bit, and it, people don't think of that dynamic where arguments happen, and it sucks because I knew I wanted to stay safe, and even though my parents resented it, and it comes down to academics can affect because we're kids, and sometimes it's not up to us, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, sometimes academics and this whole thing it comes from different angles, like parents. So something interesting to think about.
I asked them both one final question. How has this pandemic changed you and the people around you as a person? I think you'll want to hear what they had to say.
I think I was tested. I think I'm coming back okay from it. So, it was just, it's there, and we moved through it. In terms of where I see it going in the future, I mean, who knows?
What lies ahead? What's the future? I think this pandemic, I always look at, yes, this was a struggle. Yes, this was challenging. But I think with a struggle is growth. I think we have all grown, even though it has been challenging and struggling. And it has been a struggle. But I think through that is growth. And I think the good news is we are much better. We are closer together. And because we had to go through this together.